Welcome to Center for Social Change. My name is Daniel Puder. I get to host an awesome show here, which this place is transforming nonprofits in South Florida. Today I have two guests here from TransSOCIAL.org. One is Morgan Mayfaire. You're the executive director of TransSOCIAL, and your wife, Ashley, is the director of operations. I love that families impact together.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that you use the word transform.
Of course. I thought about that when I was starting to say, and I'm like, TransSOCIAL, transform. But you're transforming a culture to add more value, keep people safe, build relationships, build community.
Impact visibility and help trans individuals with their transition.
I love it. So I find it's very interesting, like with schools today of what's going on. So I'll tell you a little story. So 9 years ago, I got on TMZ. And I said, I'll come to your school if you're being bullied. Because when I was a kid, I was that bullied kid because I had they call it learning disabilities. Now, if my teachers today were to get into a cage with me, they would have the learning disability, but a whole different shtick, right? So I went around the country and we literally transformed the ability for kids to stand up for who they are.
I love that.
Race, religion, sex, whatever that is. Like, I love people for who people are. But there's a lot of people out there that judge people. And it's very interesting to see our society as judgers versus people that love people. So what do you guys think? How do we transform the mind of humans to be able to get them to care about others?
Building empathy is a difficult thing, okay? But I think visibility has a lot to do with making those changes. Because people are terrified of what they don't know. And what they're terrified of, they hate. So if you have visibility and you have people get to know you on a human level, you change all those things. Because we all have more in common than what you think.
A lot more.
Yeah.
There was one thing where they, the DNA test that they've done, like where you're from originally, your ancestors, they were doing something like that, and then they would tell that person a few things about them, and then a couple other people would be connected to that person.
Well, here's the thing. We're all related, actually. We all come from the same woman in Eastern Africa.
There you go.
So, I mean, who are you hating? Your own relative, really.
It's crazy.
Yeah, when it comes down to it.
So I find that people over time, different people hated different groups. And I love to impact and care for people to be the best version of themselves. And I find what you guys do for the safety stuff, I was just looking at one of the things on your website at the top, it's saying expanding safe and affirming resources. And so you're giving resources to people to be the best version of themselves. What do you guys provide for South Florida, Miami, Florida, the country? How do you add value and what's coming up with you guys?
You want to take it?
Sure. Right now we go into spaces and make them, or try to encourage them to be trans affirming. So healthcare providers, businesses, potential employers, schools and universities, we go in and we give them cultural sensitivity training.
Nice.
Let them get to know trans people, know our history, know some of the social marginalization and discrimination that they face, and try to educate them so that they understand why it's important that they reach out and do more to help the community. And then for the trans people themselves, we have peer support groups. We do a lot of social events so that they can be out in public in safety, because there's safety in numbers. And
it's also more fun.
Yeah.
Whenever you do anything with a friend, it's more
There you
fun.
go.
When you do it by
Shopping,
yourself.
it's not that much fun. But if you go with somebody that's going to tell you, this looks really good on you, it makes a difference.
I do enjoy shopping on Amazon with my friends though. Jake's like, hey, you look at this new thing. Like he showed me the Tesla Cybertruck.
yes.
I go on there, I look, I click, I buy, right? So I'm with you.
Listen, do not even say that around her, because I do that an awful lot. And she's like, how many packages are coming today?
It's terrible.
Christmas. Jake's like, did you tell me you were like, hey, it's not even like, what's Christmas about or something like that? And I'm like, Christmas is every day.
Every day when you have Amazon Prime, it's every day.
Every day.
We have that
Every
in
other day.
common.
I like that. I like that. So I like people getting together because I believe community creates not just safety, but it really builds humans when you're positive, when you have empathy, when you care about each other, but really caring. Like, it's not like, hey, it's fake. You're really adding value to each other.
That's what our trainings are about. I mean, Ashley neglected to say that our training is actually the only award-winning training in the southeastern portion of the United States. It's been geared to build empathy, to give you knowledge of trans individuals, and to give you a perspective as to what it's like to be trans in America and around the world.
So when you go to a college, high school, corporation, do you guys charge for this?
Yes.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. We have
It depends.
nonprofit rates, and we always provide it for high schools for free to
Okay.
their GSAs and things like that. But for the businesses and healthcare providers, we do charge. And some of it is just to help them be compliant with federal non-discrimination policies, and some of it's to help with their diversity and inclusion, but it is a very valuable training because it teaches people how to be respectful of everyone's identities, how to make space for people within their corporations, how to have happier employees.
And what we charge is a donation to TransSOCIAL,
Yeah.
so that we can provide the services that we provide to the community.
Yeah.
Because we are the only nonprofit that actually covers the fees when people can't afford them.
For name changes.
For name
identity
changes and
document
gender
updates.
marker changes and identity documents, which can be over $1,000 per person.
Wow.
Yeah.
They charge that much?
All
That's
the different
crazy.
agencies, the court fees. Yep.
So what are so you have to go to court to change that stuff now?
To change your name.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not easy. You get called by what is your dead name, a name you don't want to remember because it brings back feelings and memories of a time when you were being forced to live your life as something that you're not, and that's why people want to leave it behind. But you're called by that name sometimes in open court in front of everyone, okay? And the judge can essentially ask you anything. When are you having surgery? Why are you doing this? Anything they want. No holes barred. Some don't, but some do.
So have you ever done trainings for judges?
Not directly.
Okay.
We have indirectly helped, push them towards some progressive training options and some sensitivity. We work with some great nonprofit attorneys, pro bono attorneys.
And
that
we've
help
had
us.
some excellent judges too, okay, that have been extremely receptive and, go out of their way to make people more comfortable when they're going through this process.
Awesome.
So, sometimes you reach people that are not so affirming, and then you have other people that are, extremely affirming.
And we also try to go to court with people that need the support, because a lot of times when people come out as transgender, they might lose their entire support network, their family and their friends. So then we're there to hold their hand through the process.
That's really interesting to me. That people, their own blood, they're like have such a big, like, you must be this or you, and it's happened over the last generation because I own some high schools. So I would love for you guys to obviously come in and train my team, because at the end of the day, the more training, the better our schools run, right? Like from my standpoint, if you're not trained to like the latest of anything, whether the gangs or the drugs or like how to have empathy.
Terminology around gender identity.
Totally, right? Because I did a training in LA, who I should connect you, my buddy Simon runs, I forget which division of LA now, but it's tied in with this world. And we had male and female on the pre and post assessment. And somebody said, I don't associate. And I never thought about that before, because that's just what I've done with kids, but then we brought it to the adult world. And so what we did is we just put a line. And so it's like, my thing is this: humans are humans. I'm a human. You're a human. If you want to be whatever, I support you. I'm not going to make you fit into a box. Like, we've made people fit into boxes forever.
That's part of humanity. We classify things by putting them in boxes. We first label, then put a little box. The problem is that no human being fits into one box. You are much more than that. So when you get down to it, how many boxes are you going to have?
A lot of boxes.
A lot of boxes.
Like they say for me, when I do an assessment or whatever it is, it's like, I'm Caucasian. Well, hey, I might feel like I'm a little other or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I be what I want to be?
You should be able to self-identify any way you want.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I was there, and so I apologized. I said, hey, I apologize. Now some other people might have gotten pissed that you have to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, hey, if I can add value some way to myself and my team, I think that's what leadership is about. and obviously you guys get it because you guys are out in the community leading groups of people to add value to other people. But it's very interesting, like today, maybe how we're not adding that much value to our kids. And so I look at it from a couple standpoints. Like I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and they have one viewpoint. And I'm like, hold on, why would you guys just be in a box? Like we're talking about boxes. Why wouldn't you guys actually be out there understanding other humans and loving them? Because, getting religious, Jesus told the Pharisees to love the Lord your God and love your neighbor. Not to judge your neighbor, but to love your neighbor. So it's very interesting to be able to see that.
A lot of hypocrisy.
Yes. And a lot of conditional love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have fun on this. We can go for like 5 hours on this.
Oh yeah.
So tell me what you guys are up to. Like what's coming up, what's on your schedule, and how, I know, right? And how can somebody get involved with what you guys are up to?
So we have a holiday party coming up here at Center for Social Change on the 21st.
Do you guys like this place, Center for
love
Social
it.
Change?
It's really great.
Absolutely love it. We had our Transgiving here.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me.
Everybody was invited. We're not in the
Oh,
newsletter.
okay.
But,
Everybody was invited.
I don't look at all my emails anymore. I'll take accountability for it.
But April, we have Trans Pride of the Americas.
Okay.
Which is bringing together the trans community in North and South America, Central America, Caribbean. We're going to do a trans summit where we bring together leaders from that international community to talk about violence against the community, discrimination against the community, ways we can build power together, start connecting in more meaningful ways, de-escalate violence against the community from within.
This is the first time that anything like this has ever been attempted, where we're going to bring these leaders from around the world together so that we can find out what issues they have, how they've overcome them or not, and how we can help each other out. And also build a directory so that we can all work together. And Trans Pride is within Pride Fort Lauderdale, okay? It is going to be Pride of the Americas. It's going to be huge. It's going to be 5 days. There's going to be a parade. There's going to be a 2-day festival.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be amazing. And we're expecting about 1 million people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun.
So they all come from South Central?
And North America.
In North America.
We'll have some Canadians there.
Yeah.
Canadians, okay. How about Alaskans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And actually, I've kind of deviated a little and invited some people from other places.
Europe, Africa, Asia, India.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was with the Dalai Lama last year.
Cool.
Oh, awesome.
And that was cool. Jake was just with him again 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
What was that like?
amazing.
Is it okay to ask?
So it's interesting because I look at, he was talking about like first world problems versus third world problems. And he's like, first world problems, they're bored, they're doing drugs. And they don't care. Third world problems is we don't have much. We don't have the resources. So if we don't have the resources, we have the resourcefulness, but not the resources. America has the resources, but our kids today don't have as much resourcefulness.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how I was at a school this morning down in South Florida and talking to a group of girls, and most of them, they just went on a tour to a college, and most of them didn't even follow up. And so there's so much money out there, there's so much resources we have in America. As if you have your cell phone, you have everything. Like anybody can get one of these, you can get one for free. If you can't figure out how to get one for free or go work 5 hours a month to pay a $50 bill or whatever it is for $10 an hour, we got some challenges.
And I think part of that is like teaching people how to be in community again. There's a lot of
Like this
isolation-
community?
Not that community, but like in real life.
Yeah.
So our peer support groups are really peer-led, but we foster this community of responsibility for each other.
It's like a family.
Yes, and there's like 4 ground rules, just like be respectful, confidentiality, so that people can discuss things that are going on in their lives, but they have to commit to taking care of each other, welcoming new members, helping them with resources they might not have had when they started their transition. And it's been really beautiful because it has created a family.
And sincerely, if somebody's going through a hard time, we will help them get food, we will help them with clothing, we will help them with whatever they need.
People are in a hospital
We
today,
help
we'll
each
go
other.
take care of their pets. Like it's that kind of like you can lean on each other. And it's slowly grown from 10 people to now we have more than 50 active members.
Awesome.
in 2 counties.
So I find when you say like family, so I look at all the companies that I'm a part of, whether partners or, you know, when I am on a board or something like that, it's like a family. Like we build family. And I find that families are not what we're talking about. Families in America, a lot of time leave people behind and don't take care of people. So I like that you guys are redesigning, from my belief too, is what a family should be like.
It's chosen and intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not, you have to be.
See, sadly, most of us come from families that had that conditional love. Be what we want you to be, or there's the door. With us, it's totally different. And not everybody in our group is LGBTQ. Okay? Because it's open to allies as well. So it's like, if you're an ally, if you want to be part of this family, show up, join the group, you know, help each other out, and have the right commitment and feeling that goes with it to be part of that family, which essentially is everything you didn't get from your bio family, you have to provide for this family so that you can also get it back. That's it. Easy.
Super simple. So what do you guys have going on, and can people donate on your website?
Sure.
Yes.
You're like, yeah.
Yes.
So it's coming up Christmas time. I like this.
We do super simple, like Venmo and Cash App.
Okay.
There's a online donation portal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Just you guys just get Venmo. You're like, hey, more people on the website, right?
When we go out to events and stuff, it's fun.
That's awesome. What can somebody do? Let's say they have a school, and you know, teachers hearing this, and they're like, or like a Center for Social Change, you know, company, and they're small. How can they just add some value to you guys?
Get to know the community. You can come out to our open social events and meet trans people, which is really important to help with that community building. And do your own self-check, or we can help you do a self-check about your internal non-discrimination policies. I love the bathrooms here. You know, they're gender neutral. There are little things you can do to make your space more welcoming to the community, and bring them in, get to know them, and then see how you can help. Really, just being an affirming employer is a huge help to the community, because we have an extremely high unemployment rate.
Really?
Trans community, yes.
Interesting.
And not for lack of knowledge or experience. It boils down to prejudice.
Really?
Simple as that.
It's really hard to apply for a job as a trans person if you've had a legal name change, because you will have to reveal your prior work history under a different name and a different gender. So it automatically outs you as trans to that potential
Let's say a
employer.
trans woman, okay, who's changed everything, is going for a job, right? In order to give her work history, she has to out herself. If not, she has no work history.
No references.
She just fell from another planet out of the sky. So in order to say she has the experience and she has the work history, she has to tell that person who's interviewing her that she's trans. And that it's going to be under this other name.
And then you get all the stereotyping and the biases that exist against trans people, and it's really hard to get a job.
It's not easy.
Have you guys ever spoke to Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development Councils,
Yes.
Rotaries?
Yeah, it's really just about us getting our foot in the door of some of these businesses and helping to make sure that they're ready to welcome a trans person, that they have a policy for bathroom use, that they have a policy for name changes or preferred name versus legal name at work, things like that, to just make their space more welcoming, and then we can bring them all the great employees.
Any company or corporation can also help sponsor Trans Pride. I mean, we're taking sponsors. We just ask for one small thing.
Yes. Any sponsor that we take has to have a written non-discrimination policy that includes sexual orientation and gender identity as protected.
Okay.
If
Cool.
not, we don't want your money.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Like, add some value to the whole corporation too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've had a few that we've had to turn away.
And we've had a few that wanted to learn how to do better, and we were able to bring them in and teach them. So that's pretty cool.
So it's interesting because I find there's, within the corporate world, corporations need good workers. And what's crazy is they're willing to turn it around. If somebody is qualified and wants that job, why they would ever turn away somebody that definitely, here's my thought. If you're willing, and I look at commitment levels, you know I'm going on this one.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
If you're willing to do what it takes to change genders, you got some freaking commitment. So if you're that committed, then why wouldn't you want to hire somebody that, because you go to an average company, they're not committed.
They also have a unique ability to manage people because they have lived in both genders and they understand dynamics from both genders. They can kind of, walk that line between inner conflicts with employees and things like that, and really understand where people are coming from a totally different level.
The best human resource people are trans.
They get it,
The best customer service people are trans.
We're gonna have to rethink our new, with our HR company. What we're gonna do. I like this.
Seriously.
Okay, so where can people go and see you?
In public or on the digital
on
world?
digital to find out more about you.
We're on Instagram. We have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. The Facebook group has a lot of local resources and networking within.
Okay.
And then we have a website with a calendar of events as well.
And it's transsocial.org. On all of it's TransSOCIal?
Yep. Our Instagram handle is TransSOCIal. Our Facebook is TransSOCIal Inc. INC.
Awesome. You guys have any shout outs? Anything you want to plug?
Our Dungeons and Drag.
Yes. We're partnering with Dungeons and Drag for our holiday party on the 21st here at Center for Social Change.
21st December, here at Center for Social Change.
2 to 6.
Dungeons and Drag, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes, they're going to bring games.
It's a party.
Drag queens, makeup, food.
Fun.
Amazing.
Fun.
For the holidays, right?
And not for nothing, we throw the best parties.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you guys for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having us.
I appreciate you guys for adding so much value to the community, South Florida. And then I believe that with what you guys can do here and like this podcast from Center for Social Change and other media that you do, you'll be able to influence and impact other cities and communities and school systems. So, but we'll bring you into our school.
Cool.
Done.
Love that.
See you guys. Center for Social Change. Check them out. centerforsocialchange.org, or you guys can see.
TransSOCIal.org?
TransSOCIal.
There we go, transsocial.org. You guys have an amazing weekend, and think about what you can do to add value in your life and in your community. Check out their website. See you guys.